Hello, it's 8 a.m. Vietnam time and you're watching the live edition of VTV News. My name is Linh Hương and let's get you caught up with our headlines. Vung Ang Economic Zone in the central province of Hà Tĩnh has resumed operations 2 days after the riot. Numerous artifacts claiming Vietnam's sovereignty over the Spratly and Paracel archipelagos are kept in Tiên Linh Pagoda in the central city of Huế. Hanoi Chiao Theatre's efforts to revive and promote Chiao, or traditional opera, among Hanoi pupils. First up, Vietnam's Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Phạm Bình Minh held a phone conversation with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi on May 15th. More to follow.
Vietnam's Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Phạm Bình Minh affirmed Vietnam's strong objection to China's recent actions and requested the latter to immediately remove the Hai Giang Cu-981 oil rig and its escorts from Vietnam's waters. He emphasized that China's move has seriously and negatively affected the trust between the two countries and the friendship between the two peoples, adding that China's actions went against agreements between the leaders of both countries' fundamental principles on resolving maritime issues and international law. Minh reiterated that Vietnam had acted with utmost restraint, adding that the recent riots in Vietnam, which had caused damage to foreign enterprises, were violations committed by particular individuals. He said the Vietnamese government has carried out measures to stabilize the situation and impose appropriate punishment for the violations. He assured that Vietnam would do everything in its power to protect the safety of foreign investors in their businesses, while asking that the two foreign ministries to maintain close contact to deal with relevant issues in a timely fashion.
The Vietnam General Confederation of Labour, or VGCL, discussed measures on Friday to help businesses in 10 cities and provinces resume operation following disruptive demonstrations against China's illegal placement of an oil rig in Vietnam's waters. Accordingly, the municipal and provincial trade unions are required to provide support for labourers during the time it takes businesses to resume production. The VGCL also appealed to labourers all over the country to show their patriotism and solidarity in the defense of national sovereignty through practical activities like intensifying production to contribute to the development of economic and national defense potentials. Vung Ang Economic Zone in the central province of Hà Tĩnh has resumed operations 2 days after the riot, as workers have now returned to work. Let's take a look.
Hà Tĩnh provincial authorities worked with the Formosa Corporation on Thursday to call workers back to the economic zone after the zone's security had been ensured. 2 days previously, a group of people enticed the zone's workers to flood the streets with flags and slogans opposing China's illegal placement of its oil rig in Vietnam's exclusive economic zone. The march unfortunately resulted in a conflict with foreign experts and workers at the Formosa plant. Taking advantage of the situation, some people stole company access, machinery and other equipment. The province promptly mobilized 600 police and military officers to disperse the crowds and get foreign workers to safety. Police also arrested people accused of causing public disorder, destroying property and stealing assets. At present, local authorities are still deploying forces to maintain security and order at Formosa, while implementing communication campaigns to urge people to exercise restraint and show their patriotism in a peaceful manner.
The incident at Vung Ang Industrial Zone in the central province of Hà Tĩnh, which happened on Wednesday, May 14th, resulted in 1 death and 149 injuries. All injured people were hospitalized at Hà Tĩnh General Hospital. All admissions, both Vietnamese and Chinese, were treated with care and respect by the many doctors and volunteers. The following report has more.
This is Hà Tĩnh General Hospital, where 100 Chinese patients are being treated for their injuries. Despite language differences, doctors here are taking care of them according to their responsibilities and code of ethics. The wholehearted care of the doctors has relieved the pain for many of them. Moreover, the hospital leaders also provided personal health care items for the patients, such as towels, toothpaste, and more. We directed our doctors to take care of all Chinese patients who were admitted on May the 14th. Also, we contacted Hà Tĩnh Medical College to call for the assistance of their volunteers. More than 300 volunteers from Hà Tĩnh Medical College was divided into 6 groups to alternate in caring for the patients. Despite hot weather and difficult conditions, they helped all the patients, both Vietnamese and Chinese, to overcome their injuries.
We had heard that many Chinese were being treated at the Hà Tĩnh hospital, and then they called our college to recruit volunteers. We took patients from the ambulances to their departments, and we were ready to assist for 24 hours.
With the help of the doctors and volunteers, patients have had their injuries treated. The noble gesture of the hospital staff and volunteers has left a good impression in the minds of the patients.
After the fight, I had head and back injuries, but the doctors and nurses here took care of us so carefully. Thanks to them, I'm feeling much better.
Despite the language barrier, doctors, volunteers, and patients from China have become closer. It is hoped that out of this experience, a sense of friendship, solidarity, and purity of esteem can emerge between the two peoples.
On Friday, a group of Chinese escort ships continued their illegal activities and prevented Vietnamese law enforcement ships from carrying out their duties in Vietnam's exclusive economic zone and continental shelf. What follows is an information update from the Vietnam's waters, where China's oil rig Hải Dương 981 has been illegally placed since May 2nd.
At 8:37 a.m., when Vietnam Coast Guard ships were 9 nautical miles from the illegal Hải Dương 981 oil rig, Chinese military ships increased the velocity and chased the Vietnamese ships, eventually blocking their path. At 9 a.m., a Chinese ship numbered 3411 came within 30 meters of the Vietnam ship numbered 8003 and blocked its path. Fortunately, the captain of the 8003 acted quickly and maneuvered the ship to avoid collision. This has been the strategy that Vietnam Coast Guard has used during the past 2 weeks to deal with China's aggression in Vietnam's exclusive economic zone.
Although Chinese ships have prevented us from doing our task many times, we still try to follow the state and government's directions and policies, which are patient, flexible, smart, and creative. We are determined to oppose the unlawful installation of China's oil rig in Vietnam's exclusive economic zone and continental shelf. Although we are working in different ships, we often discuss on finding proper measures to prevent the collision. Our movements are aimed at ensuring the safety of people and property.
After blocking the path of Vietnam Coast Guard ship 8003, the Chinese ship 3411 intended to come back and ram into the Vietnamese ship. However, 2 Vietnam Coast Guard ships numbered 2016 and 4032 came quickly to help the ship 8003 avoid the Chinese ship's approach. Also on the same day, other Vietnam Coast Guard ships were blocked by up to 6 Chinese ships when they approached the unlawful installment of Hải Dương 981 in Vietnam's exclusive economic zone. The Vietnamese Coast Guard's vessels still use a loud PA system to inform China's serious violation in Vietnam's waters in Chinese, Vietnamese, and English.
Top military leaders of China and the United States met on Friday to exchange firm warnings in Washington over the escalation of tensions in the East Sea, where China has illegally placed its oil rig Haiyang Shiyou 981 since May 2nd. General Morton Dempsey, chairman of the United States Joint Chief of Staff, said that the United States was seriously concerned about China's unilateral actions in Vietnam's exclusive economic zone and continental shelf. He also stated that the ongoing tension in the East Sea should be solved by diplomatic dialogue based on international laws. After China's illegal placement of an oil rig in Vietnam's exclusive economic zone, followed by attacks on Vietnamese vessels, the international community and Japanese experts in particular have voiced their opposition to China's acts and shown their sympathy with Vietnam regarding the issue.
China's illegal placement of an oil rig and its attack on Vietnamese vessels is unacceptable. China has violated international law in all aspects. I hope China will discontinue activities at the oil rig and withdraw it from Vietnam's waters. The East Sea dispute has attracted a great deal of attention in Japan, and Asahi Shimbun reserves a considerable amount of our daily issue to report on the matter. ASEAN's response to Prime Minister Sun Yat-sen's speech at ASEAN Summit last Sunday made the front page of our newspaper. We also dedicate a column to grab readers' opinions and request for the oil rig to be withdrawn from Vietnamese waters. China's actions in the East Sea are unacceptable. They are clearly aggressive and violations of law. We also have similar issues with China regarding the Senkaku Islands, so I feel extremely angry. China has done the same thing in Japan, Vietnam, and the Philippines. We had the same problem in the Senkaku Islands, but Japan has tried to avoid disputes since our nation loves peace. China might be a powerful country with a strong military and economy, but using these trends to threaten neighboring countries is unacceptable. I hope China will hold its actions. I think Vietnam should call for international support and let the world know about China's illegal acts that threaten regional peace and stability.
Numerous artifacts claiming Vietnam's sovereignty over the Spratly and Paracel or Trường Sa and Hoàng Sa archipelagos are kept in Tiên Linh Pagoda in the central city of Hue. These are scripts engraved on the pagoda's grid bell and a poem praising patriots for defending national sovereignty over Paracel archipelago centuries ago. We have more in the following.
Tiên Linh Pagoda in An Long Village, Phú Lộc District, Hue City, was founded in the 19th century. The pagoda is also home to many relics and documents regarding the Spratly and Paracel archipelagos. One of them is the tablet of Nguyễn Hữu Niên, which states that he was the commander of the soldiers guarding Paracel archipelago at that time. The tablet has been kept here for 150 years. Together with the tablet, there are also documents written on Gió papers that confer the title of commander of the Paracel guard troop on Nguyễn Hữu Niên.
This shows that Paracel archipelago belongs to Vietnam. Our people have shed their blood, sweat and tears defending the archipelago ever since we first resided on it. We have been preserving the tablet and documents very carefully, as they are important evidence of our country's sovereignty over the archipelago. We are very proud that our ancestors had played such a big role in defending our national sovereignty.
Another artifact is the script engraved on the 450-kilogram great bronze bell. These hand scripts, believed to date from 1823, record the merits of Commander Nguyễn Hữu Niên and the An Nong villagers in protecting national sovereignty over Paracel archipelago.
The tablet and these documents have supplemented the evidence proving that Paracel belongs to Vietnam. We'll keep collecting more artifacts like this to show the world that we're protecting what we rightfully own.
These artifacts show that Vietnamese have been living on and defending the Paracel archipelago for many centuries. These and many other relics and antiques found across the country also strongly affirm Vietnam's sovereignty over the two archipelagos.
More to come on VTV News. Revised law on organization of the National Assembly assessed. Hanoi Chiao Theatre's efforts to revive and promote Chiao or traditional opera among Hanoi pupils.
Exotic Vietnam is an intriguing blend of many charms. This land is where all manner of stunning landscapes await like a visual feast, rivaled only by the beauty of its people and their abundantly rich tradition and culture. Here is where you can relive the past in richest color or live it up in the bright lights of the big city. With so much more to offer, Vietnam is simply unforgettable.
Welcome back to VTV News, brought to you live from Hanoi. The Standing Committee of the National Assembly made contributions to the revised law on the organization of the National Assembly yesterday. Accordingly, the majority of the National Standing Committee agreed that the number of National Assembly deputies should be maintained at 500, and that it's necessary to increase the number of full-time deputies working at the National Assembly's Ethnic Council and other National Assembly committees by at least 35%. In addition, many members of the National Assembly Standing Committee also approved to change the name and authority of several National Assembly committees. Delegates agreed that the draft law on the National Assembly organization had been revised and that the number of articles added were in accordance with the party's reformed policies and the 2013 Constitution. The Vietnamese party and state will protect the legitimate rights and interests of foreign investors operating in Vietnam, considering their benefits as Vietnamese benefits. This announcement was made by Deputy Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc at a trade promotion conference held in Hà Giang province on May 16th. Themed Our Potential, Your Opportunity, Secretary of the Provincial Party Committee Triệu Tài Vinh said that to attract foreign investment, the province has set up investment promotion counseling centers and an official development aid mobilization board responsible for attracting ODA. At the conference, Hà Giang called for investment in tourism, services, agroforestry development, border economy, and processing industry development. The province granted investment licenses to 9 projects and signed 6 memoranda of understanding on cooperation and investment with businesses. A conference to attract foreign direct investment, or FDI, and improve the quality of FDI disbursement was launched yesterday morning in Hanoi by the Ministry of Industry and Trade. Besides discussing FDI picture, the conference also aimed at collecting opinions of delegates for the amendment law on enterprises and investment law. More to follow.
Statistics announced at the conference by the Ministries of Planning and Investment show that foreign direct investment in the first 4 months is about 60% of the same period last year. However, experts said that disbursement has been stable and the quality of FDI is more important.
We have realized that it's important to increase efficiency of FDI disbursement. In fact, several provinces started to select FDI projects in terms of green production, products with high value added, high technology. And that might mean a decline in FDI, but also better quality projects.
According to experts at the conference, in the future, Vietnam should select high-quality projects with modern technology, attract large-scale projects with value-added products, and encourage more linkage between foreign and local investors. Also, at the event, stricter regulations of project management is mentioned.
I think our law has stated clearly that if a project can be started within a specific amount of time, it might be allowed to extend for a while. But then after that, if nothing changes, then it will be withdrawn. And if we do that, it will improve Vietnam business environment and open more opportunities for other investors.
The conference was also a chance for experts and businesses to offer feedback for the 2 amendment laws on enterprises and investment regarding FDI licensing, investor guarantees, and so on. The opinions will be collected to be submitted for consideration at the upcoming 7 sessions of National Assembly in Hanoi. Statistics shows that by April 2014, Vietnam now has more than 16,300 FDI projects with a total registered capitals of $237 billion. This number shows that foreign investment has contributed greatly to the Vietnam's economic development. Therefore, a conference like this to collect opinions to attract and improve efficiency of FDI disbursement is highly appreciated. Minh Hằng for VTV International.
Chèo, or traditional opera, is a special traditional Vietnamese art form. In modern times, like some other folk arts, chèo has become less popular and could disappear from our theaters. However, the Hanoi Chèo Theater has been making unfailing efforts for years to revive and promote the art. Most recently, they have carried out a project to promote chèo among pupils and students in Hanoi. More to follow in our edition of Culture Watch this week.
Artists from the Hanoi Chèo Theater are finishing up the details for their upcoming performance. This is a very special performance for these artists because today many of their young audience will learn about chèo for the very first time.
I feel very happy to act in this play and see how excited the young audience is. It takes us effort to transform chèo singing into a play for children. It's very different to act for children because you have to find the most simple yet fun way to perform. I hope after the show, children will like chèo singing and continue the tradition in the future.
It's a very sunny day, but pupils from Thang Long International Primary School are eager about their field trip. They are learning a very special lesson today, taught by a performance by the artists from the Hanoi Chèo Theater. A 100-knot bamboo tree, or cây tre chăm đốt, is the familiar folk tale to Vietnamese children. Today, this tale was reenacted as a chèo performance by the artists from the Hanoi Chèo Theater. This is a part of a program approved by the city of Hanoi to educate Vietnamese children about this traditional art. Simple scripts, engaging interactions, and the surging energy are what make this both a fun and valuable lesson for Vietnamese children.
I enjoyed the show very much, especially the part when Theo finds the magic bamboo. I think I like chèo singing.
My favorite part is when Buddha comes to help Theo. I think the difference from the folktale and the play is that I can see the characters with my eyes.
The project to promote chèo among students will include a total of 1,700 performances in primary, secondary, and high school in Hanoi over the next 3 years. For secondary and high school students, the Hanoi Chèo Theater is putting on performances of plays they have learned about in school. As well as the plays, the project will include chats with the artists and brief lessons to teach students about this traditional art.
This extracurricular activity helps students to relax after they've been studying hard. Cây tre chăm đốt is a popular folktale which encourages students to sympathize with the poor and live a good life.
Chèo is very popular among the older generation, but young audiences know very little about the art. The project aims to bring chèo closer to young Vietnamese to maintain the art's position in the landscape of Vietnamese culture.
An important part of this project is that we are trying to make young audiences like chèo singing first, and then try to teach them about it later. Our young audiences really enjoy it. We hope to nurture a love for traditional arts among them, because Chiao singing is a heritage that is worth preserving.
The performance has ended at Đại Nam Theatre, and 500 more children have learned about Chiao. With more performances like this, the Hanoi Chiao Theatre hopes to nurture a love for Chiao among young Vietnamese audience and keep the art alive.
And that's Culture Watch this week. And now let's check out what's on in the culture scene next week.
Cinema lovers in Vietnam are again offered a unique chance to embark on a cinematic journey around Europe through a rich lineup of films introduced at the European Film Festival 2014. This 15th edition of the festival will take place in Hanoi, Da Nang, and Ho Chi Minh City on 16th, 17th, and 19th of May, respectively.
To celebrate the 15th anniversary of Hanoi's UNESCO City for Peace and 112-year-old Long Bien Bridge, an art exhibition with 112 paintings and 112 photos by over 50 artists from Vietnam and all over the world will be opened at Heritage Space in My Dinh, Hanoi from May the 18th to June 25th. The Bridge of Love, War and Peace, Hopes and Dreams will be featured in different aspects.
The famous opera, Carmen, will be performed by more than 150 artists, musicians, and singers from the Vietnam National Opera and Ballet at the Hanoi Opera House on June 2nd and 3rd. Taken from the novel by Prosper Mérimée, Carmen was completed in the autumn of 1874. It was the last work of Georges Bizet and also the most popular opera on the world stage.
VTV News will now continue with the weather updates. And that wraps up our VTV News at this hour. Many thanks for watching. Do log on to vtv4.vn for other updates. And from now, goodbye.